Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Hey, it is a cold and blustery day in Idaho today, kind of at the end of January here. It's about 35 degrees out and it's a little breezy. I think they said gusts up to about 10 miles an hour. But I've got one of my all-time favorite drones here, the original Hubsan Zino. Now, this isn't the Zino Pro, this isn't the Zino Pro Plus, this isn't any kind of Zino 2. This is the original Zino that came out at the end of 2018, and that's when I got this drone. I took delivery of this drone in December of 2018, and in fact made my very first flight with it right where I'm standing right now at Heroes Park. That flight didn't go so well, but many others since then have been very successful. Had a lot of fun with this little guy. I paid $299 for it in 2018 on there. They had an Indiegogo crowdfunding deal to get it going. And yeah, so that said, now I've seen this drone often for $250, sometimes even lower than that. I've seen it as cheap as like $219 before. I don't know if it's available for that now, but I can tell you it's a tremendous bargain. You know, I look at drones that are coming out in the bargain category that are under $200. They simply do not perform as well as this more than 2-year-old Hubsan Zino. So truthfully, it's my favorite of the Zino lines. It's you know, it had a rough start. There were a bunch of firmware updates when it first came out, but they got it right. They eventually got it right, and it works really well now. In fact, I'll post right now. I will post what the firmware package that I have on this drone right now, so you can see what it is. But that said, I hadn't floated it a long time, so I just wanted to get it up, take it for a flight, and just kind of revisit it, right? Let's look at all of the flight modes that it has and the different things that it'll do. It's not the most powerful drone. It hasn't got the best camera, but it just overall flies well and does what they say it will do. So let's quit messing around. Let's get this thing in the air and we'll just fly it around a little bit. Okay, I've got the drone fired up and the controller and the app fired up. So let's enter device, and you'll see that it'll take it a second to make the connection. It'll say cable not connected, but it just takes a second and then it'll connect. And then one of the cool things, and there we go. So one of the cool things that Hubsan does is they give us a safety status list, and you can see it right here. And in fact, it says we're connected. And then here again, I forgot that it shows it right here. There's the firmware package that comes on this drone. And it's telling me that it doesn't need any kind of calibrations. Its compass is normal, horizontal is normal, gimbal is normal. And we got plenty of room on the SD card. Battery voltage is good, and it's at 100% power. So no reason why we can't take off. Let's switch to video mode, and we did that. And then let's look in here and make sure we're set correctly. And I'm going to set that white balance to cloudy day, because it is indeed a cloudy day today. And I'm sorry, I want to go back in there again. Yeah, video resolution is 4K 30 frames per second, and I want some grid lines on here, so we're going to switch those on. For some reason it turns them off. Well, I was messing around with the drone on the bench yesterday. I formatted the SD card, so I'm not going to do that right now, but I'm going to start recording, and you'll see as soon as I start recording it will ask me to do a GPS accuracy test. And see, there we go. I hit the recording button, and this is what it's doing. Is the GPS on the drone is agreeing with the GPS on your mobile device. So I'm going to get close to the drone. And request succeeded. So we're good there. And then I'm going to start recording. and it is recording now. So so we're going to do a hand launch. It's been a while since I've done a hand launch with this guy, but it's pretty darn easy. I'm going to hold the controller in my right hand. So I'll make sure you can see me here. So I've got the controller in my left hand, excuse me, the drone in my left hand and the controller in my right hand. And with my thumb, I'm just going to push down on the launch button. So I'll hold it up high, hold it up above me. And there it goes. We'll bring it around, bring it in here. Well, I'll tell you what, my fingers are already freezing off. It is a cold day today. I should have brought my gloves with me, and unfortunately I did not. So one of the cool things about this drone, and you'll see it moving around there a little bit, it has no sensors on it. Doesn't have bottom sensors, optical flow, none of that, sonic, none of that. Doesn't have any kind of obstacle avoidance on it whatsoever. So you can, it does fly around pretty good, and you can bring it in. And this is probably about as close as I'm comfortable bringing this drone into the camera. And you can see it kind of moves around a little bit, and it's sometimes can be difficult to place it precisely. And this controller is just a little bit weird. It's kind of moving in here a little bit. So so let's take the opportunity. I'm going to back it up just a little. Yeah, a little more, and you can see it kind of move around there. So I'm going to go jag it back and forth, and you can see that little gimbal in action. And it works pretty good. One of the cool things about this drone is it has a nice level horizon. So like I always like to do on my videos, let's do a little manual droney here. So reverse and up now, reverse and up. And this drone, this controller is not the most precise controller you'll ever. Let me see if I can drop the camera down. I'm going to stop for a second. There we go, that's a little better. Get that rule of thirds going on. And we're not terribly high. Let's get this thing up in the air a little bit. Yeah, that's probably good. So, one of the things about this drone is it's the FPV isn't, I'm so used to with newer drones you have really really vivid FPV, and this is not. I don't know if this is 720p on my FPV screen, or maybe even just 480 for all I know. But as you can see, the video looks pretty darn good. And look at that nice flat horizon. Hubsan just does such a good job with that. And again, I want to stress, this drone is over 2 years old. So let's take it out here a little bit. First, I guess, though, I want to show you. There a number of times when there were a lot of argument with this drone about its range, etc., I would fly it out this direction here where you see the Costco now, and that was just an open field, and the street wasn't nearly as busy. I could cross that, and I could get across there, and I could get to that far corner, and that was roughly 1 kilometer away, which was just about the range of the drone. Well, we can't do that anymore, but we can go the other way here. We can get across here, and this is we're not going to, we just have to make sure we get a point where we can cross the street here. And the drone's above me right now. And let's give it a second. Yeah, I think we got a spot there we can get across. Yeah, we threaded the needle there. So as you can see, speed-wise, it's not like this is a super fast drone, right? We're at about 8.5 meters per second, so that's what, about, I don't know, that's not too bad. That's roughly about 18, 19 miles an hour, something like that. And that's me adjusting the yaw there. And we are out about half a kilometer, a little over 500 meters. And I need to face, I forgot, this is Wi-Fi, I need to face the drone. So you saw a little break up there. I didn't have the controller facing the drone. So I'm going to move it over just a little bit, and we see a little bit of breakup on FPV there. I'm going to grab some more altitude. Let's get this baby up higher, and then we'll stand a better chance of keeping a good connection. But, you know, we're out there now about almost 800 meters, and here's what I'm going to tell you. It's going to get to right at about 980 meters, and we will lose connection with the drone, and it will turn around and come back to us. There's 912. Well, it's already breaking up here a little bit, so yeah, aircraft disconnected at 912. So typically in the past I've got about 980 meters, but I guess the point is that yeah, and it's already turned around and is going to come back to us here. When it says disconnected, it'll go into return to home mode. Yeah, so then as soon as it gets a solid connection, it goes into GPS hold. So we'll hit the throttle here and start bringing it back. But the point of that exercise was to show you the range of the drone and to show you that you don't need to be afraid of losing this guy. I did a number of tests over the years. It'll always come back. So here we are over the, I'm going to drop the camera here just a little bit. This was, I believe it was pumpkins out in this field. Pick that camera back up. And again, we'll look for a spot when we can cross here. Okay, we're going to time it after that car right there goes by. And we got it. We're across the street, or we'll be here in a second. We're going to go to the opposite end of the park here so that you can take a look at the, this is a shot that I get often of the Boise foothills. Let me raise the camera up here and get back to that rule of thirds. We're going to go right to the opposite corner of the park. Drone's just about directly overhead now. That's me correcting the yaw just a little bit. Cool watching that drone fly through the air. Okay, we're going to stop right there. And boy, I'll tell you what, my fingers are frozen, folks. And again, this is a look that I often give with this drone of the, well, not with this drone, with all drones when I'm here in the park of the Boise foothills. So you can compare this Zino 4K 30 frames per second footage with what you've seen on some other drones. We're down to 44% battery. Let's bring it back here. I'm hitting full reverse, and we're going to drop some altitude. And I'm yawning just a little bit. This controller I'm just not used to. I haven't flown it in a while, and it is just not as accurate as what I'm used to with. You get used to flying, you know, like the DJI quads and stuff, and they make such buttery smooth controllers on them. It's just a little different when you get on a this is essentially a toy drone controller on this guy. Okay, let's bring it in here. So one of the things that I want to show you, and maybe, yeah, we're down to 40% battery, it's telling us. So I think we're high enough here. I'm going to go and do an orbit with this guy, and it does a great orbit. Another thing that Hubsan does well is their intelligent flight modes. On this drone, it doesn't have a lot of them, but what they do put on there works really well. And this works, the orbit on this works the same as any other Hubsan Zino drone. And I'm going to set the transmitter as the point of interest, which I'm holding it in my hand, and it'll just orbit us here. And we're going to execute immediately. And I'm going to speed it up pretty quick. And you'll see the drone start to do that orbit. And I want to make sure and watch it, make sure that I am high enough to clear everything here, and I'm pretty sure that I am. So as you can see also, this is not the fastest drone that you'll ever come across, but it is it works, and it works well. And it's just doing a perfect orbit here. And again, using the controller as the point of interest. You can also set a point of interest too by flying over the top of it. Okay, so I'm going to click stop, and the drone comes to a stop. And let's go back into that menu, and I'm going to well, we probably don't have enough battery. I was going to do the follow me function here, but we probably don't have enough battery for that. I'll tell you what else we can do. Let me grab some altitude. It does what they call well, they call it it's here in the creative video, and they call it a panorama shot, but really it's just the drone up there doing a 360. Yeah, and it wants to return to home. And I'm going to click go. Yeah, no, it's returning to home. It won't let me do that. I need to, yeah, I'm going to cancel that return to home. Yes. Cancel return. And it's, well, down to 19%. Maybe we better. Yeah, I'm going to bring it back down. Discretion is the better part of valor. That's one thing about this drone, is that the flight time, I think they advertised like 21 minutes or something. It's not even close. Okay, we'll bring it down here and we'll see if we can do a hand catch. So the way you hand catch this guy is it's got a pretty good sized body on the drone, and it is landing itself right now. So it was coming down. It was in landing mode. So I just grabbed the body of the drone, then I held the left stick down, and it's asking me if I want to stop recording, which is good. So I am going to stop recording. And that saves us from having a corrupted file. But anyway, let me get everything shut down and we'll just do a real quick conclusion. Hey folks, so the original Hubsan Zino, I'm telling you, if you're looking for a bargain drone even today, if you can pick this guy up for $250 or under, or even, you know, up to 260, 270, something, I just, you know, why wouldn't you? If you're looking in that price range, because it operates like a real drone. You saw what we did with it here today. No, do you get a lot of flight time with it? I didn't look at how much flight time we had there. You know, I suspect it was you know, around 15 minutes or so, something like that, maybe even a little less. And they advertised, I think, originally 21 minutes. I never got that with this drone. Now, I'm pretty heavy on the throttle when I fly, so that might make a difference too. But we flew it out, and we got it out over 900 meters, almost a kilometer. In the past, I typically would get this thing out about 980 meters, and then it would lose connection, turn around and start coming back. But the return to home works real well on this thing, fail-safe return to home. So you don't have to worry about losing the drone. It'll always come back. And I experimented with that in a number of ways with this drone in the past. If you look at some of my older videos, you'll see those. And I, like I said, I think I have on my channel probably over 40 videos made with just this drone here. And so I guess just what I'm trying to get across is I've had a lot of fun with it, found it to be very reliable and a fun drone to fly, and decent video. So we only had enough battery to show you one of the intelligent flight modes, although there's not many on this guy. But we did an orbit using the controller as the center of the orbit, and you saw the drone executed it perfectly. Then we brought it in and did a hand landing with it. And that's the other thing about this guy. Because it doesn't have any obstacle avoidance, you'll see nothing on the bottom of the drone here, no downward facing sensors at all. When it's coming down, it's really easy to catch because you got this big body of the drone and you can just grab it as it comes down. And then you just simply hold the left stick down on the controller and it shuts off the motors, and you're good to go. And you saw for that same reason why it was so easy to hand launch as well. So, hey, before I sign off, I want to add one thing. I'm going to look and see if there are any discount codes out there for this guy on Banggood, and I'm quite sure they are. And if there isn't, I'll see if I can email the folks at Banggood and see if they'll put a discount code on it, and I'll publish it in the comments below. Hey, so I guess that's about it. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out, and if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Most of all, I appreciate you taking the time today to look at this video, and yeah, of course, we'll see you on the next one. Hubsan Zino. Fun drone.